Hello and welcome, my Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your What Do I Need read for this full moon in Gemini to new moon in Sagittarius, November into December 2020. I am your reader, Mark-Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, the Archangel of Lyons, Mark-Angelo Lyons, but thou may call me Mal. Hello, my darlings. How are you, my subscribers, my friends from around the world, my aquariums, my aqualungs? It's your age, apparently. The age of the aqualung. I am so happy to be reading for my friends today. Hope you are all well. Hope you enjoyed your holiday if you celebrated. Moving forward into this waning moon period. We are doing, as I usually do on the channel for the lunar reads, we're doing a What Do I Need read, a 7-card draw, 7 cards, 1 card from 7 different card systems, 3 healing systems, 2 oracles, and 2 tarot decks to get you clues, tips, and hints about what you need from the pantheons of the divine, in which I am intricately interwoven. For this full moon on the 30th of November, last day of November at 4:30 a.m. If you want to do your waxing moon, your full moon stuff, you want to do it before then, easy enough to do. We might do some, I'm doing this on Sunday, we might do something tonight on the channel. I don't know yet. Moon's in Gemini, I don't know. I think both ways about it. To the new moon on Monday, Duran alert, light your torch, wave it for the new moon on Monday. 11:17 a.m. Eastern, but it goes void, of course, at the exact same moment. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. So you're getting like 0 Sag new moon energy if you're wanting to set your intentions. If you can wait until 10:35 p.m. Eastern, the moon will be in Capricorn that Monday night, and that's a little too late for me to live stream. So we'll see. I might not be super chatting, doing magic, whatever. We'll see how it all plays out. I take it day by day in 2020, and you know exactly what I mean. So here's the deal. It's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. What feels right in your energy field, your freaky Aquarians, right? Freaks of the zodiac, ruled by Uranus, if that doesn't say everything right then and there. So focus on your breath, right? Fixed air, fixed focus, Aquarius air. Focus on your breath as we do this. I'll do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can for the well-being of all. Shall we? Oh, yes, all the decks that I read are in the description box, all the way at the bottom. Cool links on the way down if you want to check them out. And if you are new to my channel, at least consider liking. Please like the video. It seems it's all about the likes to get people to see the views, right? Likes and comments, right? And obviously, if you like me and you want more, subscribe, because I'm good and I'm not stopping anytime soon. I don't care what my numbers are. Breathe. That's the thing about having your priorities in order. I just do what the gods tell me. So here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, using the Caroline Mace archetype deck. Please, I need 1 card in clarity for my fixed air signs, my Aquarian, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. What is the dominant archetype they need to alchemize from lead to gold, from shadow to light, this waning moon period from full moon in Gemini to new moon next in Sagittarius, November into December 2020, and you are dealing with a survival family archetype. Now, before I say what it is, I always preface when a survival family archetype comes up because the way they are worded, and I didn't come up with this wording, and I don't think Caroline Mace did either. The 4 survival archetypes everybody has. Every other archetype, maybe you do, maybe you don't, right? That's an exploration. Read her book, Sacred Contract. She goes into it. She's such a genius. I adore her. Caroline Mace, PhD. You're dealing with the victim archetype, but the positive side of the victor, because archetypes are neutral, right? The positive side of it is the victor, like as in the spoils of war go to the victor. I mean, I've studied this stuff for decades. I got the book in hardcover when it first came out. Was that the 90s or the early 2000s? We're looking at the archetypal soul power of self-esteem and the ability to set boundaries. It's how we learn how to survive. I mean, as kids, right? I mean, my boundaries were violated as a child. Well, so is everybody else's in one way, shape, or form throughout history, right? It's part of it. It's scripted. It's how we learn how to estimate ourselves self-esteem as a verb, not as a noun, right? Let me read you the shadow side. It's so obvious once you hear the shadow side. Remember, everybody has this. Nations have survival archetypes like the victim, victor, schemata. The shadow attribute, playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity. I mean, we all do it. We've all done it. I mean, and look, sometimes you're just tired. and it may come across that way, and you're not doing that, but it's part of the human condition. When the nervous system gets inflamed, right? Burnt out. Inability to maintain personal boundaries. So there's that personal boundary part of it. And remember, boundaries change. I just use this as a silly example, but I think it works. Don't talk to strangers is great for a 4-year-old. Don't talk to strangers is not great for a 44-year-old, right? So it's like the graphic equalizer buttons. I don't know if you're from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I don't know if they still use those anymore, the little switchy things in the studio, right? To that certain boundaries shift and change as you go. So look, I would say this could be an archetype you're dealing with somebody else or a situation. It could be all of those. That's how these cards usually read for me, but everybody has this. So even if it is somebody else you're dealing with, it's showing you something that's going on inside of yourself, although it may not be that exact mirror as people always want it to be, right? So if they're a victim, you're a victim. No, you might actually be more in the light side of this, which prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others, right? It's like, no, I've been there. I've done that. I've set a boundary. I've done that before. I'm not, no. Never again is actually the word of the victor archetype. No, never again. The burning times, if you know what I'm talking about, right? I know somebody's pointed hat just got blown off. Let's keep going. What is the healing angel? The Doreen Virtue Healing with the Angels Oracle. So we've got one healing system on the table, right? Carolyn Mace. We're going to do the Healing with the Angels Oracle. What is the angel you most need to call upon this full moon to new moon next? Breathe. Yes, my magnificent Raphaelites, my angels of air, and the sign of Aquarius. Please, one card in clarity. What is the healing angel that this Aquarian collective sun, moon, rising, Venus, and most needs to call upon me? Whoa, hey. Enough of that, children. I mean, they are just cards. What is the angel they most need to call upon this full moon in Gemini, waning to the new moon in Sagittarius, November, December 2020, is they need to alchemize that victim into victory archetype here. What is the angel they need to call upon in which to do that? The angel of self-acceptance, which is right up there with self-estimation. Self-esteem and self-acceptance are not nouns. They are verbs. They are actions. They are things you do. All right? So no one can give you self-acceptance but yourself. But what would the angel of self-acceptance do? At its most simplest point, give you the space to do that, right? To give you perhaps the reflective time that you need, or to point out things about you that you might not be accepting that are actually perhaps diamonds in the rough, perhaps lead like 1 atom, well, 3 atoms away from becoming gold. You know what I mean? Like something that you don't see or love about yourself that is absolutely essential to who you are, right? To estimate yourself, self-esteem as a verb. So here, like if I was your teacher, maybe give thanks that I'm not, because I'm a bit of a slave driver when it comes to actually being a teacher with a student, a one-on-one or in a group situation. Really get down into this. Really, 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 really call in that angel of self-acceptance and be radical about it, right? Every time you hear the word self-esteem, think verb. Like that's a good one. Every time you hear self-esteem or self-acceptance, think verb, not noun, because advertising tries to sell it as a noun. It's not even subtle anymore. It used to be, right? Have this and you'll be. It's like maybe not, right? Let's see what's going on inside of you. Daughters of the Moon Tarot is a very deep read. It's a very deep read, my aqua lungs. I will be the first. Breathe. Let's just do this. my goddesses of air, and the sign of Aquarius, who I always see as my beloved gray-eyed Athena. Please, my goddesses, the divine yin, the yin force. One card in clarity for the Aquarian collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs. What do they need to be aware of? Embrace within themselves this full moon waning, full moon in Gemini, waning to new moon in Sagittarius, November, December 2020. All right, now look, 3 of blades in this deck is not heartbreak, it's focus, which is why I love this deck so much. Thank you, Fiona Morgan. Right, a maiden, a mother, and a crone, focusing their energies together. Now, of course, this could involve 3 people, but this is something going on in. And we had our first glitch of the day. We have got a maiden, mother, and crone focusing their energies, but this is going on inside of you. So yes, if there is an element of heartbreak here, that might make sense. But remember, heartbreak can be about so many things. This is only our 3rd card down out of 7. So let's just say there's an internal focus that you need right now, right? So pull it behind the boundaries, perhaps as you reevaluate, right? If they called self-esteem self-reevaluation, people would get it more as yeah, but reevaluation assigns value, and that gets slippery. Instead of estimation, it's like, how am I doing? How am I doing, right? More of an internal focus. It's such a simple card. Let's really see what's going on in the divine masculine aspect, the yang force, the external world that you need to be aware of. Breathe. My gods of air and the sign of Aquarius, Heracles in particular. Please, one card in clarity for my beloved Aquarian, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. What is it that they need to be aware of this full moon in Gemini waning cycle to new moon in Sagittarius? That new moon on Monday, will the fires dance through the night for them? What do they need to be aware of in the outside with this victim archetype being alchemized into victory? The angel of self-acceptance that they need to work with and call upon as a verb, and the 3 of blades focus going on inside of them. What is it that they need to be aware of in the outside? Oh boy, 5 of pentacles. Yep, left out in the cold, feeling lack, feeling shut out, feeling forgotten. This feels more like neglect than abuse, but you play out that as it plays out, and it is definitely something physical. Look, the millennials and their words, right? FOMO. Oh, technically, what is that? It's an anagram. Anagram. Land shark. FOMO, fear of missing out. But I think this is really telling that this just says it. It's like your boundaries are being made for you right now. If you are feeling isolated, I mean, who isn't? In 2020, I mean, even if you're living with other people, you don't have the same freedom. So you might be feeling locked out of your own life in a lot of ways. I do. But, you make the best with it. Everything for a purpose, not a reason. Oh, let go of the reason why things happen the way they do. There is divine purpose that we often see in hindsight if we're willing. This is really saying that your focus is inside of yourself. And really the emotions that you may be feeling, you're probably thinking about a lot, but are probably more triggered by the current circumstances, reminding you of stuff that happened when you were victimized, either when you were younger or last week, right? Or last year or whoever. So this isn't a walking away from, this is really a feeling like something is barring you. Now, I will say 5s are change. So this might be the physical pressure building up to then, bam, move forward into that 6, which things balance, right? In the 6 of Pentacles. But we've got 2 tarot on the table, 1 healing system, 1 oracle. Let's go to our 2nd healing system. Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, 4 suits, luck, healing, grace, and the problem. Let's see which one you need to be aware of, cope with, deal with, embrace, etc. Breathe. By the way, I smudged before. I don't use charcoal anymore. I put down a bed of white sage as tight as I can get it, get that going, and then I powdered honey, amber, and copal. It smells really good. It's Sunday. My neighbors must be like humping trees or passing out or both. My Ascended Masters, it's air magic. Please, my Ascended Masters, 1 card in clarity for my Aquarian, my beloved Aquarian Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. What is it that they need to be aware of? The piece of luck that they don't see? Do they need to acknowledge the piece of healing, perhaps, that's in front of them and implement it? The piece of grace that's permeating this whole situation, to be open to that? Or what is the problem that they most need to be aware of this full moon in Gemini to waning to the new moon in Sagittarius, November to December 2020? And you've got the grace suit of the grace card in the grace suit. There is grace here for you. You are sitting in the palm of the divine hand. You just don't know it. And why would you, right? You're dealing with this on the outside. Womp womp. Right? No, I get it. I get it. I get it. And you might very well feel victimized just by life in general, right? This year has been nuts. You know, this all really started at Yule. If you do, I don't say the research, we use that word too much. But if you look at when this whole planetary thing started, it really happened in December around Yule, the beginning of the solar year, winter solstice. You're right in the palm of the divine hand, whatever you call the divine. Now, I'm really going to recommend the work of Caroline Myss when it comes to grace, which also rhymes. Defy gravity. It's defy. One is wicked, the other is Mace. It's wicked Mace. Read it, listen to it. She never does audiobooks, which I really respect her for. She lectures, right? So there's so many. So instead of one audiobook, there's like hundreds of lectures you can find on YouTube and elsewhere. Talking about grace, as well as Entering the Castle, which was my introduction to grace, the way her work with St. Teresa of Avila. Yes, I'm a witch that studies St. Teresa of Avila. Cope somehow. But eclectic. Boogie, oogie, oogie. So there's immense grace here that you are not aware of. But what does that mean to you? Not just blessing your food, right? Grace is a divine substance. It's a mystical substance. The mind will never be able to understand because the mind wants reason. And grace works with purpose, not reason. Let's keep going. That is huge. That is huge. And if the angel of self-acceptance helps, like, that we are all, Carolyn May says, we are not separate from grace, right? Closer to us than our own breath. I don't know if she said that, but that grace is the breath of God. I actually wrote a book called Words of Grace coming out in Kindle next year. So excited. Found a really, really good millennial to do the converting to make it Kindle ready. And I love millennials. Breathe. Higher selves of all involved. Our last oracle, and then we'll get our final healing system on the table. Please, the higher selves of all involved through the Whisper of Love Oracle, one card in clarity for the Aquarian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. This full moon in Gemini, a new moon next in Sagittarius. Please, please, please. One card in clarity. What is a piece of information, inspiration, or insight that they need? This feels really good. For considering they've got the victim archetype, which we all do, right? Alchemizing it into victory isn't easy, but with the angel of self-acceptance, they call that in that they need. That will help. That's most of the journey, right? Just accepting yourself where you are as you are on the hero's journey, right? With the Three of Pentacles, focus on the inner. With the Five of Pentacles on the outer. I get it. And with the grace that they could just breathe that in little by little by little. So higher selves of all involved. What's your whisper love for them? This full moon to new moon next. Actions speak loudly. Express your love through your actions. Now, this is why you really want to do this victor work, even if you're dealing with somebody else who might violate a boundary, right? That this might be taking action for yourself, right? Doesn't say specifically, actions speak loudly. Express your love through your actions might very well be saying, I'm out. All right, I'm out. And I'm following the path of grace, that I don't need to know what to do. I will take action, not from a place of victim, but from a place of victory, accepting myself, accepting the journey that I was chosen to take in this life by Forces of love, power, and wisdom, way smarter than me, right? And just say, I don't know what this is about, but there's grace here somewhere, and I'm willing to take the journey. In terms of action, so there is definitely something about the masculine aspect here, because it's not an internal action here, I'm feeling. But it can be done gracefully. Now, like I said, I wrote a book called Words of Grace. I took it down off the internet because the Kindle's coming out. Well, it hasn't even begun production, but we're actually going to contract this week. Grace is a journey. Oh man, grace in action. See, I used to live with dancers. One of my best friends, Lillian Carter, Boston choreographer, if you know her, she's amazing. She was my roommate for years, the studio apartment on the Fenway. What's a Fenway? About 10 pounds. And the feet of dancers, like, makes you want to hurl. They're so disgusting because of the work that they do to look like so fucking graceful on stage, right? Decades of preparation for one perfect quadruple pirouette. You know what I mean? Gnarly feet. It's a journey there. Give you fucking bunhead metaphor. Bunheads, watch out! Return of the bunheads. Ballet people. Anyway, yes, we're the dancers. Breathe. I hope you're getting a kick out of me. I'm getting a kick out of me. The Ascended Masters, please. Last card down, the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck. I keep on wanting to say the Matt Contra deck, but that sounds like the Iran Contra hearings, so no. Please, one card in clarity for my beloved Aquarian, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. What is their perfect healing mantra for this full moon in Gemini, waning to the new moon in Sagittarius, November and into December 2020, please, with the victim archetype, with self-acceptance, with focus, with the Five of Pentacles, left out in the cold, lack and loss, but change, the grace of grace sitting in the palm of the hands of the divine in action, speak loudly. What is their perfect healing mantra to help them with all of this, to help them heal this full moon to new moon next? Expressing free will, perfect. My choices determine how brightly I shine. So there is huge free will here, but will you do it from a place of victim or a place of victory? Right? What does it mean to be the victor? Garba. Victor Garber? Victor Garber? Expressing free will. Very throat chakra, right? What you say and what you don't say. Sometimes not saying things is the right time. It's all spit, swallow, or chew on the throat chakra. I'm not commenting any further than that on the tube of you. Where are you? Expressing free will. My choices determine how brightly I shine, and that is true of absolutely every one of us. When free will is expressed, the quality of your experiences is based not on the actions of others, but on how wisely and lovingly each moment is viewed. So right there, I'm going to tell you, this is a moment-by-moment game, not a once and done, right? It's not about one grandiose decision. You're going to have to make fixed air sign. You'd like that, right? Just yes or no. It's just like anything else, working out, dietary cleansing, right? Changing your life little by little. It doesn't match the unconsciousness of others or fight to have the final word. Have you ever met an Aquarian? Free will conveys the brightness of your soul through the sum of your words and actions, even when responding to those who aren't acting their best, right? So it's in that moment. It's a good mantra. It really is. My choices determine how brightly I shine, regardless of what anybody else is doing. Like, no one can read your thoughts. I know, people are afraid of thinking the wrong thoughts. Nobody fucking knows what your thoughts are. You can think it and still say, no, that's okay. That thought's there. That's not the best of who I am right now, but the best of who I am right now is boundary up, walk away. This might very much be you then kind of like walking away from a situation, but can you do it in a way where your actions speak loudly, but really coming from a place of expressing your choices that allow you to shine? This mantra is ideal for overcoming feelings of disempowerment, which kind of go with the victim archetype, fulfilling personal goals, rock and roll, which also rhymes, and becoming more ambitious, right? So even if something has locked you out, or there is loss or lack here, there really is an indication that you have the power to express free will and increase your own sense of ambition on the journey here, right? To really go into victory, because victory is something that inspires ambition. Well, I did that, let's keep going, right? So let me give you the blessing, the prayer, the blessing, Doris Lessing. Breathe. Marriage between zones 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, and 6, whatever, please. May the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they truly need this full moon to new moon next, that they may focus within themselves with the grace provided surrounding and supporting them. As they walk away, as they are dealing with this physical change of lack or fear or being shut out or shutting out, understanding that they are expressing their free will, their choices determining how brightly they shine as their actions speak loudly, moving them with clearer boundaries and new experiences of self-estimation, going from victor to victory, with the healing angel of self-acceptance by their side and at their back, raising them up so they may see clearly how valuable they are, that they may fulfill their Aquarian role in the divine plan for their well-being, the well-beings of all the people in their lives, and for the well-being of all. So moved be, and so it is. There you go, my darling Aquarians. Again, if you liked it, just hit the thumbs up. It helps people see the work. It is essential, apparently. I'm just listening to other readers, and that's what they say. So I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm fine. This is my only channel of income. There is only one source of prosperity. Source. Infinite channels, particularly for Virgos and Aquarians, right? So yeah, like, subscribe, all that junk. Wishing you all the very, very blessed of this full moon to new moon next, my darling Aqualungs. Hail, farewell, and blessed.